Final knowledge check. Let us begin this final knowledge check by revisiting one of the most important ideas from the entire course. The question asks, what is the primary goal of meditation? The correct answer is B, training awareness and attention. This is a very important reminder as we enter the final part of your mindfulness journey. Meditation is not about forcing your mind to become blank. It is not about never feeling stress, and it is not about getting rid of emotions. Instead, meditation helps you build the skill of noticing where your mind is and then gently bringing it back. Throughout this course, you have practiced doing exactly that. Each time you notice distraction and return to the breath, the body, or the present moment, you were strengthening attention. That is the real purpose of meditation. This first question prepares us for the rest of the reflection by helping us remember what mindfulness truly is. Question 2. Now let us move to the second question, true or false. Missing a few days means you have failed. The correct answer is false. This idea is especially important for building a lifelong practice. Many students believe that if they miss a day or even a week, they have ruined their progress. But mindfulness does not work that way. A real mindfulness practice includes starting again. In fact, beginning again is part of the training. As you have learned in previous modules, the goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency with kindness. Life becomes busy. Schedules change. Motivation goes up and down. That is normal. What matters is your willingness to return without judging yourself too harshly. This question leads naturally into the next one, because once we understand that mindfulness is not about perfection, we can better understand what mindfulness actually is. Question 3. The third question asks, which statement best describes mindfulness? The correct answer is B, paying attention to the present moment with openness and curiosity. This definition brings together many of the key themes from the course. Mindfulness is not the same as thinking positively all the time. It is also not about relaxing constantly or avoiding difficult emotions. Mindfulness means being present with what is happening right now and meeting that experience with awareness rather than automatic reaction. The words openness and curiosity are very important here. Openness means we allow experience to be noticed, even if it is uncomfortable. Curiosity means we explore our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without immediately judging them as good or bad. This understanding prepares you for the next question, which becomes more personal. After reviewing the core ideas, it is now time to think about how you will apply them in your own life. Question 4. This question asks you to describe your personal mindfulness plan. Now that you have learned the foundations of mindfulness, the next step is to make the practice your own. A personal mindfulness plan is your way of turning knowledge into action. It includes simple decisions such as when you will practice, how long you will practice, which techniques work best for you, and what you will do when you forget or lose motivation. For example, you might decide to practice mindful breathing for 5 minutes every morning before school. Or you may choose to do a body scan before sleep, or take 3 mindful breaths before a test. The most effective plan is usually realistic, simple, and flexible. This question is important because mindfulness becomes meaningful when it fits into your real life. And once you begin creating that plan, it is helpful to also reflect on what this course has already taught you personally, which is exactly what the next question invites you to do. Question 5. The fifth question asks, what has been your biggest lesson from this course? This is a reflection question, so there is no single correct answer. Your biggest lesson might be that your thoughts are not always facts. It might be that breathing can help calm your body. It might be that being kind to yourself matters more than being perfect. Or it might be that attention is something you can train, just like a skill. This question helps you pause and recognize your growth. Sometimes learning happens so gradually that we do not notice how much we have changed. Reflection helps make that growth visible. This is also a helpful bridge into the course completion reflection on the next slide. After identifying one major lesson, You will now have a chance to look at the full picture of what you have learned about your mind, body, habits, and future. Course completion reflection. This slide invites you to complete a one-page reflection. This is more than just a writing activity. It is a chance to bring together everything you have learned across the course and connect it to your own life. You are asked to think about 5 important questions. First, what have you learned about your mind? Perhaps you noticed how often the mind wanders, how quickly thoughts appear, or how attention can be trained. Second, what have you learned about your body? You may have discovered how stress shows up physically, or how breathing and relaxation can change how you feel. Next, you are asked what habits you want to continue. This helps you move from short-term learning to long-term practice. Then you reflect on how mindfulness will help you in school. You might mention focus, test stress, emotional balance, or better listening. Finally, you think about how mindfulness may help your future. This encourages you to see mindfulness not just as a course topic, but as a life skill. This reflection creates a strong transition into the next set of slides, where you will see the resources available to help you continue practicing beyond the course. Downloadable resources. Now we move from reflection into support tools. This slide introduces the downloadable resources available to you, starting with the Complete Student Workbook, which includes all 8 modules. This workbook is valuable because it puts the entire course in one place. It gives you something you can return to whenever you need a reminder, a review, or a fresh start. Even after the course ends, the workbook can continue to guide your practice. Think of it as your personal reference guide for mindfulness. If you forget a technique, want to review a concept, or need a structured way to get back into practice, the workbook can help. On the next slides, we will look at more specific resources that support different parts of your mindfulness journey. Guided Meditation Collection. This slide presents the Guided Meditation Collection. These recordings give you practical ways to continue using the skills you learned throughout the course. The collection includes breath awareness, focus meditation, body scan, progressive muscle relaxation, watching thoughts, rain meditation, loving kindness meditation, and open awareness meditation. Each practice serves a different purpose. Breath awareness can help steady attention. Focus meditation strengthens concentration. Body scan and progressive muscle relaxation help build body awareness and release tension. Watching thoughts teaches you to notice mental activity without getting pulled into it. Rain meditation helps with difficult emotions. Loving kindness builds compassion, and open awareness helps you rest in a wider, more spacious awareness of experience. This collection is useful because different days call for different practices. The next resources will help you not only choose practices, but also stay consistent over time. 21-Day Mindfulness Challenge. This slide introduces the 21-Day Mindfulness Challenge. This resource is designed to help you turn mindfulness into a habit through daily practice. It includes a daily tracker, reflection prompts, a habit calendar, and a progress chart. These tools make your practice more visible. When you can see your effort, it becomes easier to stay motivated and notice patterns. The idea of 21 days is helpful because it gives you a short, clear commitment. It feels manageable, but it is long enough to help build routine. Even if your practice is only a few minutes each day, regular repetition can strengthen the habit. This challenge connects directly to the previous slide's guided meditations, because now you have both the practices and a structure for using them. The next slide takes this one step further by helping you design a plan that fits your own schedule and goals. Personal Mindfulness Planner. This slide introduces the Personal Mindfulness Planner. This tool helps you become the designer of your own practice. With this planner, you create a weekly schedule, set goals, use a practice tracker, and complete monthly reflections. This is important because long-term mindfulness grows best when it becomes personal and realistic. A weekly schedule helps you decide when mindfulness fits naturally into your life. Goals give direction. A practice tracker helps you stay aware of your efforts, and monthly reflections help you notice what is working and what may need to change. This planner connects strongly to the earlier question about your personal mindfulness plan. Instead of keeping your ideas only in your head, this resource helps you put them into a clear and usable format. Next, we will look at what is required to officially complete the course. Certificate of Completion. This slide explains the Certificate of Completion. You will receive it after completing all modules, passing the final assessment, and submitting the personal mindfulness plan. This certificate represents more than finishing lessons. It recognizes your effort, reflection, and commitment to practicing important life skills. You have not only learned information, but also practiced awareness, self-regulation, and intentional living. For many students, having a certificate can also make the accomplishment feel real and meaningful. It marks the end of the course, but also the beginning of independent practice. The next slide will help you look back at the full structure of the course by showing the 8 skills you have built step by step. Infographic. This infographic is called 8 Skills for a Lifetime. It illustrates the full journey of the course and shows how each skill builds upon the one before it. The 8 skills are attention, focus, breathing, body awareness, thoughts, emotions, compassion, and lifelong practice. This sequence is very important. You began by learning to notice attention. Then you strengthened focus. You used breathing as an anchor. You became more aware of the body. You learned to observe thoughts, understand emotions, practice compassion, and finally build a sustainable practice for life. Seeing the course in this way helps you understand that mindfulness is not one single skill. It is a group of connected abilities that support each other. This slide also prepares you for the next set of resources, which show how these skills can be used in everyday situations. Bonus PDF. This slide introduces a bonus resource called 50 Ways to Practice Mindfulness Every Day. The first category shown here is at school. This is especially useful because school is one of the places where students most need mindfulness. The examples include practicing before class begins, during homework, before exams, and while walking between classrooms. These are powerful examples because they show that mindfulness does not need to happen only during formal meditation. You can be mindful while sitting at your desk, preparing for a test, or moving from one place to another. Short moments of awareness can improve focus, reduce stress, and help you reset during a busy day. The next slides continue this same idea by showing how mindfulness can also fit naturally into your life at home, outdoors, with technology, and before sleep. At home. This slide continues the bonus PDF by focusing on mindfulness at home. The examples include washing dishes, eating meals, cleaning your room, and talking with family. These examples remind us that mindfulness can be woven into ordinary activities. When washing dishes, you can notice the temperature of the water and the movement of your hands. During meals, you can slow down and pay attention to taste, smell, and hunger. While cleaning your room, you can stay present with the task instead of rushing through it. And when talking with family, mindfulness can help you listen more fully and respond more thoughtfully. This slide shows that mindfulness is not separate from daily life. It can become part of how you live. The next slide expands this idea even further by taking mindfulness outdoors. Outdoors. Now we look at mindfulness outdoors, with examples such as walking, watching clouds, gardening, and exercising. Outdoor mindfulness can be especially refreshing because nature often helps the mind settle. While walking, you can notice each step and the feeling of the ground beneath you. Watching clouds can train patient observation. Gardening can build focus and sensory awareness. Exercising can become mindful when you pay attention to breathing, movement, and physical effort. This slide teaches an important lesson. Mindfulness is not limited to sitting still. It can happen during movement, activity, and interaction with the environment. Next, we turn to a part of life that can easily pull attention away from the present moment: technology. With technology, This slide focuses on practicing mindfulness with technology, especially before unlocking your phone, before replying to messages, and before posting online. This is very relevant because technology often encourages quick reactions and constant distraction. Mindfulness can create a pause between impulse and action. Before unlocking your phone, you can ask yourself why you are reaching for it. Before replying to a message, you can take one breath and notice your emotional state. Before posting online, you can pause and consider whether your action is thoughtful, kind, and necessary. These small pauses may seem simple, but they are powerful. They help you use technology more intentionally instead of automatically. From digital awareness, we now move to another important part of daily well-being: the time before sleep. Before sleep. This slide highlights mindfulness practices before sleep, including gratitude practice, body scan, slow breathing, and reflection journaling. This is a helpful way to end the day because bedtime is often when the mind becomes busy with worries, plans, or replayed events. Gratitude practice helps shift attention toward what is meaningful and positive. A body scan helps release tension and reconnect with the body. Slow breathing can calm the nervous system. Reflection journaling gives your thoughts a place to go, which can reduce mental overload. This slide completes the idea that mindfulness can support you across the full day, from school to home to technology to rest. With all of these examples in mind, we are now ready for the final message of the course. Final message to students. This final message brings together the heart of everything you have learned. First, congratulations on completing Mind Mastery. Reaching this point is an achievement, and it reflects your effort, openness, and willingness to practice. This message reminds you that mindfulness is not about becoming perfect, eliminating thoughts, or feeling calm all the time. That idea connects directly back to the final knowledge check at the beginning of this section. The true purpose of mindfulness is to pay attention to your life with curiosity, kindness, and intention. You are also reminded that some days will feel easier than others. On some days, your mind will be busy. On other days, meditation may feel natural. Both experiences are normal. What matters is not having a perfect session. What matters is noticing and returning. Every time you gently bring your attention back, you are strengthening an important skill. The message also reminds you that the practices from this course are not just for school. Attention training, breathing, body awareness, working with thoughts and emotions, self-compassion, gratitude, and intentional living are life skills. They can support your learning, relationships, health, creativity, and future well-being. And finally, the closing reminder is simple but powerful. You do not need perfect conditions, long sessions, or perfect performance. You simply need to begin. And whenever life becomes stressful or uncertain, you can return to one slow breath, notice the present moment, and begin again. This final message prepares us beautifully for the course summary, which will now review the major skills you have developed. Course summary. As we come to the end of the course, this summary helps you look back at the full journey you have taken. Throughout this course, you have learned to train your attention, improve focus in a distracted world, use your breath as a tool for calm and clarity, listen to your body's signals, observe thoughts without believing every one of them, understand and regulate emotions, practice kindness toward yourself and others, and build a lifelong mindfulness practice. Each of these skills matters on its own, but together they create something even more powerful. They help you respond instead of react. They help you focus instead of drift automatically. They help you relate to stress, emotions, and challenges with greater wisdom and balance. The summary also reminds you that these are not just meditation skills. They are human skills. They can support you in school, in friendships, in family life, in future work, and in the way you care for yourself. As you move forward, remember that mindfulness is a practice of returning, learning, and beginning again. Thank you for being part of the Mind Mastery journey.